That problem earlier.
Well, during the show, Margaret and Hawkeye have been having a little feud about what will go into this time capsule that they're planning, and they finally work it out. And she says that Pierce says, "Very nice, thanks." And Pierce says, "Figured since we're burying everything else, why not the hatchet?" Which is a nice conciliatory note to end on.
Did you rewrite that during
the rest of the writing staff, we wrote it with a couple, and we'll read an extra moment. The line had everything. It had extraordinary writing and wonderful performances, a wonderful what people call chemistry between the performers. It also had wonderful chemistry between the performers and the writers. And from the beginning, Gene Reynolds and Larry Gelbart encouraged the actors each week to comment on the script. We would go through it page by page and say how we felt as acting artists about the material and how could we understand better what the notion was that was presented to us that week, and how could we all bend our various skills and techniques toward making it as good as we could. And then we never gave up. But most of all, I say never gave up, I mean we would work all night to get it as good as we could. I remember Larry and I 7 or 8 years ago driving home at midnight in 2 separate cars from a Chinese restaurant where we were working out some story ideas. And as we stopped at each traffic light along the way, we would call out ideas through the windows to each other. But the thing I think that makes the show different from any other show that's ever been on television, and may account for most of our, or a part of our success that's immeasurable, is the idea, the concept.
Hawkeye changed from a boozer and a womanizer, it seemed, toward the end. Why did he change so much?
He got tired. No, he didn't change. I think what happened is that over the number of stories that were told about the characters, we saw and understood more about all of the characters. I think that perhaps in the beginning, the womanizing and the drinking that you mentioned were not seen as much for what they are as they were later. But you can't do that for very long without understanding that it's an empty occupation, both of those things, empty and debilitating. And once you see through that, you can continue to show it as we did for years, but we understood it better, so that there was more understanding involved. And actually that began within the first year. I mean, that process started immediately, I think.